A huge hello to my fabulous audience. Thank you for joining me today. I'm in beautiful Arizona working with you from my office, and today's show is one that I realized I haven't done in a couple of years. It's older women, younger men. And today we are going to talk about how to decide if this might be a love model that you want to explore. If you are currently in this love model, please feel free to chat me up, write me in super chat. I have B here who is helping me out. B and Gwyneth have been my wonderful, fabulous, dynamic moderators. And Gwyneth is now on an airplane going to visit her family. B is going to be with us. So if you have a question, put it in super chat. I urge all of you that if you are taking advice on a very specific niche, such as older women and younger men, that you do your research and make sure that the person speaking to you has actually lived that experience because it is very much different. Dating somebody casually, having a few interactions, having a couple of physical hookups, not the same thing. I'm talking about relationships, getting into the weeds, so I welcome your questions. Now, let me start with some of the differences that you can experience. I want you to also understand, those of you in my audience, if you are not into this type of love model, listen anyway, because these are the basic differences that happen within a relationship that can be stumbling blocks for the couple, but they are especially apparent in an age gap relationship. And not to leave anybody out, my LGBTQIA plus group, it could be a younger woman with an older woman, a younger man with an older man. The same is true. We're going to talk about some of the things that could trip you up. Okay. So, firstly, the first thing you should do, whether it's this kind of a relationship model or not, is before you go in, kind of figure out what you're up for. What would be your end goal? Let's say you're online and you're an older woman and you keep noticing that no guys your age are even paying attention to you. And it's like, where, I mean, they're not even looking at me. How much do I have to lie about my age to get them to look at me? Correct? This is a huge problem for senior women. And I mean, senior could be 45 because it is known that older men would prefer a younger woman. Sadly, but true. Now, I'm grateful for the work that I did with older women, younger men some 25 years ago, doing this in the early 90s when it was completely not tolerated, not understood, because at least we've opened the doorway to more options. So, ladies, if you are noticing that online, the only ones chatting you up are young guys, the first thing you're going to be asking yourself is, the hell are they wanting? What do they just want to hook up? Are they checking off a list like I did this? I dated this girl, I tried this one. You're probably wondering, what do they want? And then you have to ask yourself, were you to entertain a younger man, what would you want? What would you want and what would you be willing to explore? So again, knowing what you're ready to explore is something that you have to think of for yourself. For any of you stuck in a rut in your dating life, I urge you to get outside of whatever your norm is, your type, your what you think, and duty dating. That is my term, folks. That's from like 2012. Date something different. Go on a one time date, a coffee date, a dinner date, a movie date, a walk in the park date, whatever you want. Break out of your pattern only so that you can get new input that might shake up something that's not working for you and allow you to discover something you didn't know you liked. So, before I go any further, let me please preface I am not advocating this as a lifestyle for anyone. I am offering this as an additional option that might work for you. This is simply because the world we live in, thank God, is changing, and we have more opportunities. Younger men who are so tired of gals that they're meeting who may be vapid, confused, playing games because they think they should, are in serious hunt for somebody who is level-headed, rational, communicative, and knows what she wants and doesn't need to play games because she is so confident in who she is that games would be ridiculous. A woman who has come to an age or a maturity level, independent of age, regardless, that can now speak her mind and not be afraid to do so because she knows who she is and she knows what she wants. And that's extremely tantalizing to a young man who is exhausted with trying to figure out what's going on with a woman his age. And this is not to bash young girls. There are 22-year-old women that have a mentality of a 50-year-old woman. And there are 50-year-old women that have never progressed past age 13. So it's completely individual. Let me say hi to a couple people here before I go on. Jyoti, how are you doing? It's wonderful to see you. Thank you very much. Stacy Brown, hi, everybody. Silvermont, busy with anyone else? If he wasn't busy, what I meant, let's see, hi, I'm 45, just married a man who is 28. I've never been in a better connection and trust and love. HS Tress, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is great. Galactic Woman, know who you are. Welcome. Hi, Lynn, D33AN. We have Phil here early on in the day. Richard, how are you doing? Good afternoon. You are welcome, all of you. I am here to guide you through some of the tricky transit. I have been through this thing. I have been through it blindfolded. I've gone through the worst case scenario, so I can help you out. Let's start with number one today was to know what your goal is. Now, I advocate if you don't know what you want and you see something that interests you, younger guys, older women, younger men looking at an older man, whatever, okay, age difference. And you're like, I don't normally do that, but there's something about this person that's intriguing. I urge you to explore. Explore because you never know where that wild card will take you. Okay, I have a little story about a friend of mine. I finally have the glasses that I can see everything. Okay. Friend of mine, beautiful woman, former model. This is one of those gals that in the 80s, 90s would walk into a room and the whole place holds their breath. Very famous model. Married to two very wealthy men, very prominent in the world. Had a spate of dating very rich billionaires, multimillionaires and billionaires. The love of her life is somebody slightly younger in a job that is not a blue collar job. He has a lot of money, but you would never know it. And she had no idea. And it's the love of her life. And the pairing, sociologically, you would say they're not in the same strata. Financially, he does very well, but he is as different as whatever she was pointed toward. Completely different. And this is the one. This guy would die for her. He loves her. I've been with them in public. I have been with them in private. I have seen their lives. It is as true as it can be. She is so beloved by this man. Never had this type on her radar. This is to give you hope. Sometimes we keep fishing in the same old pond and we're like, why isn't this working? This is my pond. They should want me. I should want them. Just saying, try something different. Okay. So the number one thing was know why you're dating. Okay. So if you're dating for a hookup, do me a favor and everybody else kind of like, could you be a little honest? There are enough people that just want to have sex. So don't break the heart of somebody you don't need to just because it's cool to capture them. This goes for men and women. Okay. Be thoughtful, be ethical in your dating. There will always be somebody who will want what you want. Number two, the differences in lifestyle and goals. Now, a lot of this has to do with the age of each person. For those of you who want additional material, I urge you, when we're done with this show, go to my website, susanwinter.net. Go to the nav bar, look under articles. Under articles on the sidebar, there's an entire section of older women and younger men. I go through every age of the younger men, what is generally happening in that age group, and what you can expect. And for the younger guys, look at every age group of the women, where their heads are at, and what you can expect, okay? Because I've already done the work for you, and it's a very quick read. These are short, um, probably one-page articles, all right? But it's the breakdown. So the differences in the lifestyle and the goal, it's a lot having to do with communication. Now, normally when somebody who is different on the outside gets together, it's because you have so much in common on the inside. You like, this person likes a certain kind of music. You would have never thought of dating them. Yes, they're attractive, but it's kind of beyond where you would have gone. And yet at the same time, you find this resonance. So oftentimes in disparate relationships that appear to not work to the outside eye, like, oh, this is not a normal pairing we would imagine, everything else is connected on the inside. And that's the beauty. And that's what allows people to find each other. So while you may have differing life goals at that time, those would be the things to work through. Here is, okay, Golden Hawk. I'm going to stop and talk to you because I've got a lot of material to go through today. So everybody hang in here with me. Gavin says, I love older women because they're down to earth, sensible, emotionally stable, and sophisticated. I love you so much. I can't tell you. Listen, this was not a fight I ever expected to take. I prayed it. I mean, I would have much rather found a cure for cancer, but it came to me. I did the best with what I got. And actually, it led me to where I am with all of you today because I was just playing golf and in love with a younger man. That was it. Okay, Golden Hawk, $5. Thank you, my dear. I've learned that if anyone says open to anything or going with the flow, move on. That is so true. Look for people who prioritize a relationship only. Thank you. A lot of this can work for everybody today, even if you don't want an age gap relationship. That is so, you know, letting people test drive you and then just leave you in the middle of a field, you don't need that. Okay. Worse yet, they get into an accident and just walk away. We are looking for thoughtful daters. Most everybody on this channel is intentional in what they want. And that is the happiest format for you. Susan, can you do a future video on the kind of men's attire and apparel? Ooh, an older woman would like, thanks, a good one. Ooh, Gavin, better than that, I have a client, this beautiful client from Luxembourg, and you may have seen her in my Instagram images. She's starting styling for men because she's been dating men. She's like, how do they show up in this kind of, it would work for anybody. That is fabulous. I think when I get off this video with all of you, I'm going to go straight into what men need to know about impressing an older woman. So Gavin, I'm not going to touch anything right now. No tokar, because I don't want anything to happen to the screen, but I'm going to remember this and screenshot it, and I'll get back to you. Okay. Take care, everyone. You got to go. Okay. HJ Trez, thank you so much. Beach Girl, how are you doing, hun? Okay. So where was I? The differences. Okay. You are going to have differences with whomever you partner with. They will become a little bit larger if there is a larger age gap. All right. So, meaning if you're the younger person, male or female, and you are starting your career, that could be number one for you in your late 20s, early 30s, through your 40s. You're feeling like this is the time where I run like crazy. Now, if you're with a person 10, 15 years older, they've done that run. They've got their financial security underneath them, and they probably want to now take some time to enjoy life. So this can happen in a same aged relationship, but it may be more extreme. So you have to figure out, if you are considering an age gap relationship, what are their lifestyle priorities at this point? Because they may not match yours. And sometimes love is not enough, but this is a consideration for you. Everybody with me on this one? I can move forward. Thank you, Patrick, you sweet man. You look stunning. Thank you. My hair, I decided not to cut it. I cut my hair every 8 weeks, and I had an unintentional mullet from some stylist out here who just, so finally it's growing back. I'm so happy about that. Okay, so life goals, where are you going? Now, it doesn't mean that if you have a partner who is busy elevating their career and you are at a point that you are coming off a little bit and you have more time, it doesn't mean that it's unworkable. But it does mean that you both have to be sensitive to each other's needs because the person now who has more free time might want to travel the world. I know in a lot of my clients where they're older men who want a younger partner, they want a young gal who is completely free to travel with them. And I said, well, she either has an online business or you're going to have to completely take care of her because not that many remote workers can just pick up and keep going to different countries. So that is a consideration as well. Are you partnering with somebody who will allow you to be where you are in your current experience of your lifestyle? Are they a match for you? And can you negotiate if they are not? Is there a way to find happiness and equilibrium even though you may be at different places in your life? Is it enough for you to see them on the weekends? Is it enough to have an entire day with them? Is it enough for you to be able to go away once every 2 months together? What do you need in order to keep you happy and functional? This is a consideration. The other consideration you may want to look at is the social implication. Oftentimes, the person, not always, but oftentimes the person who is the elder will already have established a more stronger network. This isn't always the case. Sometimes younger people have a huge friend group. Do you get along with each other's friend groups? Are you comfortable with your partner's friends? Are they having conversations in which you can participate? Or is the language and are the social references so difficult that when you mention some pop star that you know in your age group, they have no idea who you're talking about? Do you feel valued and accepted? Because it's not just in the partnership, it is in their social circle, in their family, and in their world. So, do you have to completely leave your world to go to their world in order to be accepted? And or can they also migrate and socialize with your friends? Because if you can get a comfortable yes for those questions, yes, I feel comfortable associating with their friends. Yes, I feel valued. I feel heard. I feel respected. I feel respected by my partner. I feel respected by their friends. That's very important. And your partner, if you're in an age gap relationship, they better stand up for you. The younger guy, you stand up for that woman. Older woman, you stand up for that man. If this is your partner, you do not let anybody berate them. I remember with my younger boyfriend, I went into a community discussion, and an older man, older than myself, looked at me and he said, "Oh, you with your young little tidbit." And I said, "How dare you?" I said, "This is you know him. He's a wonderful man. You know that. Why would you discriminate against him and berate him in such a way? You don't think that I see the very same qualities that you see in him?" I didn't like this man um, flaunting the kind of like, "I'm older, what could you have?" Oh, here's a great one. If somebody your age, you're the elder, somebody says, "Oh my God, what could you have in common with him? What do you talk about?" You just turn around and say, "Well, what does a 40-year-old man have to talk about with a 22-year-old woman?" Because they've been doing it for years, right? So they might assume, ladies, guys your age who want and they're pissed that a young guy is having you because that guy is doing things with you that they know they can no longer do without some little pill, probably. Or they're just mad that somebody got their turf. It reminds them of something that they can't participate in. At this, they know how they were at that age, right? And now they're going to discriminate against him, belittle him, and they're going to make fun of you for your choice. Somehow that you get demoted socially. And the funny thing about this is that you're not trying to upset anybody's apple cart. You found a resonance with this person, and are there perks? Yes, of course, but there are just as many things that you all have to work through. But, nobody ever says that to some 60-year-old guy with a 40-year-old woman. They just don't say that. And it's so odd but they will oftentimes diminish a younger man. Um, the greatest example of a younger man that cannot be diminished is Emmanuel Macron. I mean, being the president of France is a pretty prestigious job. And his wife is some, I think, 23 years older, right? So you can't call him a toy boy. Whatever you're involved with, if you have a partner who is different than your social group would prefer, you need to stand up for your partner because you need to stand up for your choice. It is your life. Nobody has a right to make those decisions for you. This is private. This is in your bedroom. This is your romance. This is your happiness. This is your partner. This is the one who has your back. Or it could just be the one you want to be with. Okay, so that's my rant on this. Before I go any further, let me answer a couple questions here. I'm still in my loving, beautiful relationship with my man who is 13 years younger than me. We met last year in NYC. Fantastic. Pammy, that's fabulous. Your book and your channel has been pivotal. Thank you, Pammy. You are welcome. I am so happy. You know, when I was getting so much press, I've never had a publicist, and it's interesting because everybody thought that I was hunting down Oprah and all these people and CNN, and I never did that. I didn't even have a website for 8 years because I didn't even know how to do that. I just was passionate. And I remember in the Oprah clip, she sent a black and white film crew from Canada. What I mean, they shot in black and white, right? And so I was just talking, I wasn't even talking about younger guys. I was just saying, you know, I look at this as one aspect of female evolution. It's not about the young guy. It's about the fact that as we evolve and start to learn where our power lies, that we are allowed more choices and greater participation in the world. They're just a symbol of that greater participation that is possible as women understand who they are and come out from the shadows of centuries of being siphoned into certain categories only. So that was the message. And I still believe that this is an option if it works for you. And if it works for you, fabulous. It is not for everyone. One of the social things that I want to talk about is when you and your partner don't understand each other, you and your partner's friends, your friends, there's no communication. Oftentimes, I will hear ladies say to me, "I don't wanna date somebody younger. I I wanna talk about my music and my generation and my experience," and they're mostly boomers, and, they don't want that stuff. Um, they feel close and connected with somebody who has lived through the same mentality and the same experiences in the same time frame. Now, I'm not built like that. I lived through it. I don't need somebody else to have lived through it too. I already have my opinion. I like to learn what I don't know. I like to stay current. I like to learn from somebody with a different opinion. And oftentimes it's expressed differently. People may date people from different nationalities. I know women that don't want to date Americans. They like to date people from different countries so they can learn and they can expand because they already know their culture. So it's a mentality. There's no right or wrong, no good or bad. It's what works for you. Okay. B, let's see. Yes, B is helping people put their stuff in super chat. Okay, let's see. And I'm going to move on. Oh, let's talk about money. Money, 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 honey. The elder in the relationship, let's say you're a female, you could have a lot more money because you've had more time. Maybe you had a divorce, you were given alimony, maintenance. Maybe you've just worked your butt off since you were 16 and you've saved. Number one, I have to be fair, you're prime target for a gigolo. And I'm not saying that the young guys hitting you up online are gigolos. You must understand that you are the new status symbol for some younger men that want a sugar mama. We have enough younger women who have very clearly stated they want a sugar daddy. We have women that are only targeting men who can pay for them to fly around the world. And whatever else that they negotiate on a physical level is between the two of them. But this transactional dating is really rampant right now. So if you want love and you want commitment, ladies, keep your eyes open because you've got to know the difference between a man wanting you for you and a man wanting you for opportunity, for status, for a free ride. Guys, same is true with you. My older guys, please, please, please. You all want to date the 23-year-old Instagram model and you believe she loves you, right? Yeah. If you take her to Paris, maybe. If you fly her to Dubai, if you take her shopping. I have gone through too many men that have lost too much money, and I can't seem to make them understand that when somebody wants you, they want you. It's a very different vibe. So, ladies, proceed, but with caution and understand that it could be something as simple as your, I don't know, the fact that you're a resident of a country that somebody wants to be in. Everybody needs to be safe online. Everybody, no matter who you are, younger, older, it doesn't matter. Start to look at, do they want me for me? Okay. Now we've got Ms. Margaret, 25. Thank you so much. First time. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I don't have a card number. Okay. That's okay. Um, Hop in my truck, sugar mama. Let's see, Jyoti, my only issue with this guy, 7 years younger than me, is he wants kids. Okay, brilliant topic, brilliant topic. I was gonna, you brought me to it, and thank you so much. Children are a big issue. We like each other, but he still wants to date. I have no more talking stages left in me. What should I consider? Will I be dumped after intimacy? Okay, so children, this is the one dividing factor. I got to be honest with you, it is the one dividing factor. And for those of you who want more information, please go to my website. This is not like a pay to visit, just go read the articles. There's an entire section under older women, younger men that says children, okay? There are three kinds of men and you got to know what you have. It's very basic. Those who must have children, the reason they marry is to have a family. That is what they're looking for. They want a wife who's a partner, but more than that, they want a family. You cannot change this man. You should not change this man. Don't even bother if he is dead set on this is what he wants. Now, I have interviewed these guys. And I have heard a variety of men feeling really like they could kick themselves. They did. They left the woman they loved who was older, who either couldn't have children anymore or didn't want to have children. And that was what broke them up. And they married somebody younger because they wanted a family. But then they realized, I have the mom, I have the kids, I don't have my partner. And they paid a price for it. So you've got to know what is more important. Is it children or is it you? And if it's, then there's the, okay, so that's the man who must have children, and you don't bother to play with them. Get out now before it gets worse. If they tell you they have to have children, one, they don't want the children you have. They don't want to be a dad. Two, you know you can't or don't want children. Don't even bother. It's a deal breaker. You're just going to have heartache. Don't try and change. They want what they want as much as you do. Not going to work. Okay. Then there's number two, the guy who clearly doesn't want children. Now, this used to be shameful for men to talk about. I had this wonderful friend, Bill, and this was, I think we were talking in the early 2000s, and he was telling me that he didn't dare tell any woman he was with that he didn't want children. I think he didn't even want marriage, actually. And I said, well, why? And he said, because they're going to think I'm selfish. And I said, well, it's just a choice. It doesn't mean you're selfish. Yeah, I had to live with that for a long time too. You're punished if you're honest. We'd rather have you lie and do something you don't want to do or think you can't do well or think you'll fail at, or think that because you'll do it and give up your happiness and fulfill a job that is not innately yours. People should only, children are not something you play with and put away. This is a lifetime commitment. You got to be in it. You're going to be a parent your entire life. You'll never stop worrying about them. You'll be 70, they'll be 50, and you'll still be worried. So you've got to want that. And if you don't want it, don't do it. if you're not, that's a full-time commitment, and it's the job you've got to be the best at. Got to put yourself aside continually. And if you don't have that disposition, don't even try. And then there's the third group, and this is important. These are the guys that they want the woman first, they want the partner, and they'll do what the partner wants. The partner wants kids, fine. Okay, they'll have kids. The partner doesn't want kids, okay. We won't have kids, but they want you. Okay, so remember, three types: must have kids, and if you don't want them, don't go. Doesn't want kids at all. If that works for you, fine. We'll do what you want because it's all about you. Okay, so what else do we have? Uh, okay, so this person's writing me. Chidogo. Okay. I seem to be hitting a wall. I'm very open, curious, and open to healing with someone, except modern dating is such a bunch of games, right? Dating older, I'm okay with, but not financially stable. Advice, does it mean, Mr. You're not stable or they're not stable? But I'm not financially stable. Advice, if you want somebody who is emotionally mature, ignore age and look for emotional maturity first. Go for the quality, and then you'll start to focus on the person, right? And be open and honest about where you are today, because they're going to find out anyway. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to get back to you, Chido. Let me start before the $10. Thank you so much for that. But Susan, I cannot guess your age, even if I try. I'm sure guys will always find you attractive. Older, not. Damn, I'm a straight woman. I find you attractive. I'm on Medicare, so if that helps you at all. Not Medicaid, folks, Medicare. So I'm past 65. All right. Let's see. Um, okay, this person is so anxious. My boyfriend broke up with me 5 days ago. I messed up our relationship. I regret my actions, but he says he can't anymore. I strongly suggest that I, I don't know the factors in this. When people say they can't, this goes back to our last conversation, how to stop a breakup. Normally, when people say they can't be with you, it means that they have gone through the same routine of arguments that have been unresolved. I suggest that you pick up the audiobook Breakup Triage. It's a couple dollars on Amazon. It's free if you have an Audible membership, and it's 33 minutes, and it's going to help you. If you want a session, I'm happy to work with you, okay? Because I don't know the factors that led to your breakup. And I'm sorry, you think you messed up. I don't know what you did. You don't have to share it with all of us. If you think you messed up and you really did, try as soon as possible to apologize. Unless they've blocked you, write an email, write a chat, say to them, just give me 10 minutes. I need to apologize. I need to clarify some things, because oftentimes breakups are based on assumption rather than fact. Okay, now moving on. Let's see, $10. What do we have here? Mel, and you're the first time here. Thank you. Susan, your YouTube opened my eyes. I tried to date a woman 10 years older, but she's only looking for friendship after divorce. Oh, I got to talk about why women are resistant. I even got the dreaded, you could be my son. I'm grateful for it, though. Thank you so much. Okay, why women are refusing you young guys. One, I did this. I probably made a huge mistake in my life, but I have to assume it wasn't a mistake because I made it and things rolled out the way they did. But the first younger man that was interested in me, that totally put me on this path, I never saw coming. And no matter what he did, I resisted him. He is so successful, so handsome. I didn't think it was possible. I had never heard of it working. I mean, I didn't even know where I was pulling this stuff from the ethers. Like, how my mother never said to me, "Oh, and by the way, you can't date younger men." But I just didn't think it was possible. I'd been inculcated with this poisonous pablum from society that said this can't work. I pushed that guy away, and boy, did that sting. And I learned later, because he married an older woman that was actually right for him, because he adopted her child and her kid was already a teenager. And then he had children with her, which I couldn't have given him at that time or wouldn't, so it worked out well for everybody. And I ended up where I'm supposed to be. So they will resist you because one, they don't think it can work. Their mind has been polluted from the dynamic that they've heard for centuries. The man has to be 10, 15, 20 years older. And that what you're bartering is your youth and beauty, because God forbid you're older. Why would we want you? You're damaged goods. You're no longer a virgin. You're no longer beautiful because you're not 20. It's these ideas that have made a woman stop and not think that you're real. And that hurts me a lot. Um, so let's see if I can get back to this. Richard, $20. I have no children. A few older women with adult kids and grandkids have been leery of dating me because they assume there will be a problem. Older women with no kids have welcomed a similarly childless partner. Richard, if any women have a problem with dating you, would you please have them contact me so I can advocate for you? Because I've been watching you on this channel for several years now, not only being financially generous, but you're a decent guy looking for a real person and you're in right order. And I'm going to have my way with them. Okay? This makes me mad. So you have my stamp of approval and you can time count this. I don't know how far we in at 36 minutes. You can tell them to come to this video at 36 minutes and they can see what I think about you. And I think I'm a pretty good judge of who to be able to date and not. So that's my 2 cents on this. They're idiots if they don't know you're wonderful, I think. Okay, let's see, go back. I want to make sure I don't lose anybody here because some of these, okay, we've done this. We have done Ms. Margaret. Thank you so much, Ms. Margaret. If you have a question, I'm going to find you in here. Let's see. I think she could make a TV show from it even. Okay, let's see what we have here. Thank you, Richard. Honey, you are welcome. Let's see. Where we did the children thing, right? There are 3 different types. Okay. His age, how it will affect you. Go look at the articles on my website. Oh. I totally forgot about this. I have the dating games guide but it's for older women, younger men. In the description below, you will find the collection of all my videos, the podcasts, and the articles all in one place on Retrieve. And it's called Older Women, Younger Men Dating Guide. So it's the quick way through AI. And this company was doing this years, like, oh my goodness, when did I think I signed these contracts back in like 2019, 20, something like that. So AI was very new, but what you do is once you download it, and you can have it in your phone for free. The app is free to download. And once you buy this package, I think it's $49 now. I have it go on sale routinely throughout the year. You have all the videos, all the material that I've ever done on this, and all you have to do is speak or type into it, and it'll take you to the exact time count of whatever, pulling away, his mother, his friends, his friends don't like me, whatever your issues are. I'm afraid he's going to just use me. It'll take you to exactly the point that you need to hear it. So it's the fastest way to get it. Okay. Let's see, his age, your age. Oh, let's talk about it. I talked about life stages, right? Well, the life stages has to do with lifestyles and what your priorities are for each stage. So we've discussed this. What about energy levels? Now, a lot of people think that as you get older, you lose energy. There are older people who should be dating younger people because their energy is so great. And there are young people who are sloths and they should be dating somebody older. So, again, we are looking for what connects you. You will find that these things could detract you. But take a look honestly at the benefits of what is this person bringing to you before you say no, 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 no. I heard we're not supposed to do this. It can't possibly work. Please don't make the mistake of considering just because it's different from me that it's wrong for me. Okay. Zen maiden. I think sometimes women who have kids want someone who can relate to them as a parent, having younger kids or adults. That might be for some individuals a really important factor because they want the families to blend. And I would say that there are many people who have children, and the younger man, uh, maybe he hasn't had this experience, but is his disposition open to it? So again, we're assessing the character. We're trying to go beyond what we think are the limitations of their age and assess truly their disposition and their interaction with us and how we can envision them in our lives. All right? I'm done with broken cookies. This is great. Older women with confidence is so great, like you. I need your stamp of approval to you got it. You got it. You all have it. If you're here, Gavin says, I'm a Gen Xer and I've seen most of the women my age just let themselves go and stop taking care of themselves. And looks like they get into a relationship, marriage, and become exclusive. Uh, and looks like once again, stop taking care. I think many of us are guilty of that. That once we've captured our partner and we know that we've got them and locked them into place, it's kind of like, yeah, maybe I just want to watch Netflix tonight. I'm not going to go to the gym, and we do. It's people gain weight once they're partnered because they're comfortable with their partner, and it's always kind of a scary sign when suddenly your partner is like dieting and going to the gym. You're like, wait, and you were at the office late and you've got all these business meetings you're going to, and you're starting to think they're having an affair because now they're taking care of themselves. But this is one of the ongoing things that we have to continue to do throughout our lives in long-term relationships, is to continue to work on ourselves emotionally, psychologically, mentally, to keep trying to be the best version of ourselves to participate with our partner. Now, let's talk about one of the last criterion here, and that, well, I have to talk about social pressure. I want to talk about three more things, okay? And again, if you have a question, put it in super chat, or if you have a comment, put it in super chat. Power imbalances. I've spoken to a lot of you continually, independent of age gap relationships, on how power affects a relationship. Who's got the power? The younger person, if they've got youth and beauty, they can have more power than the wealthy person who's got status and position. You don't know. And so power is who has the power, who's willing to share the power, is the power distributed equally? So that if you come in as the senior and you've got, your whole life is set up, you've got a home, you've got cars, you've got your life going for you, and this younger person, what they have is enthusiasm, excitement, tenacity, ambition, and a little bit in their bank account. Who's got the power? And do you have power in different places? So what we don't want is an abuse of power. We don't want the person with resources to be using that against the person who doesn't have resources. Okay. We don't want the person with beauty and charm and sexual attraction to be utilizing that as a fear tactic to control the elder. So this could even happen in a same age relationship. So figure out who has the power and how you can each have your own power source, because sometimes the one who is the senior has all the power straight across the board. I think I told you about when I was young at this, and it's not like I had anywhere to go to. Nobody was writing about this when I was living this and testing it out. There was a snowstorm, and I think I've told you this story before. Regis, my wonderful, 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 and he was like a baby boy. He was so sweet. He was so emotionally intelligent, so sweet, so funny, so great at managing me. He was really great. He just had this way about him, and delightful, delightful, wonderful person. So my girlfriend was coming to visit, and we're way out in the country, and so it's icy and winding. And so I tell him, so I'm going to drive. And he said, no, no, Susan, I can drive. I said, no, no, I'm going to drive. I grew up in Minnesota, so I'm starting to dominate, right? Like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm starting to be the guy. And I didn't see it at the point. And he turns around and he said, Susan, let me have driving in the snow. Can you just give me driving in the snow? I just need one category. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize what I was doing. I was taking over. I wasn't giving him, like, okay, I'll give you driving in the snow. All right. I could give up that category, but I was at fault and I didn't see it because, again, there was no roadmap for me, but I learned through my errors. So give them driving in the snow at least. Give them something, for God's sake. Don't be hogging all the categories if you have so much more social, financial, work. You got to make your partner feel valued. Okay. Mal says, now talking to a lovely woman, 15 years plus older, and seeing where this goes, she wouldn't have considered it until now. Still wouldn't have considered it until now. Just again, I'm not advocating this as, oh, yes, this is the way to go. This is the route to happiness. I'm just saying it's an option. Try it. You might like it. You might not. One of the first persons who commented had dated a woman with kids and it didn't work out. That woman, whatever is going on with her disposition, those kids, whatever is going on there, and the person dating them, we don't know those factors. We don't know those factors. It's like saying me dating one guy from Italy. I'm like, okay, I don't date Italians. One guy got one sample in my data. One sample. You know. Okay, Mary Jane, I'm 13 years older. I'm 42, and he says he wants to spend his life with me, but I can't help but be afraid he will regret it when I'm older. I have done this video. Please take a look at my playlist for older women and younger men, all of you that have any questions, because there are a lot of videos in there. They're also in the older women, younger men dating guide. I'm afraid you are going to preemptively dump this person because you are sure that in time they will dump you. You need to determine for yourself, honestly, in your heart of hearts, not your fearful heart, not your sociologically inundated mindset that's polluted you as to limitation, youth and beauty, youth and beauty, youth and beauty. Nobody could possibly want me. Okay. Let us remember there are women who have a mastectomy and their husband stays with them. Let us remember that there are people that come back from wars and they have like a body part missing and their partner stays with them. And I'm not saying that aging is equivalent to that. But if a person loves you, a person loves you. Your job as a dater is to figure out if this person, male, female, young, older, I don't care what race or religion they're from, do they love you? And if somebody says they want to spend their lifetime with you, can we please also be realistic? We need to take the ride as long as we can. If we believe that it's a worthy venture, then jump in the car and go. Go with them. Nobody has a guarantee on forever. And people, if you are waiting to feel safe for the rest of your life, I got to be the person that tells you there's no Santa because it does not exist. People change. You will change. Life will change. Things change. I don't care if you're both the same age, perfect backgrounds, perfect families, perfect schools. You walk down the aisle, you could be divorced 14 years later because you're bored to death with each other and you've grown differently. There's no guarantee of forever. There is a commitment with some people who take their marriage seriously to continue to try. All right? That's it. We will continue to try to find each other and hold hands through the rough patches, but there is no guarantee. And if you're waiting for a guarantee, you're going to hold your breath for a very long time. But if you find somebody that you think will love you, that you think is earnest, you must take that ride because you might not find the second one. Really. How do you know this isn't the one? You're not going to know unless you do it. So please, you can't be afraid of love. You have to learn to be resilient. And the more precious you are with this, oh my God, don't hurt me, the more you're going to be paralyzed in a corner. Please, I'm not yelling at you. This question, and I thank you so much for this, is indicative of how so many of us, I stopped myself. As it turned out to be good because this young man is very happy with his wife. Okay. And I could not have been that wife to bring him kids and all that. It would have been a completely different story. I don't know what would have happened. I would have had a very different life. We may not have lasted. Now, maybe I would have bored of him or he would have bored of me. I don't know. But, I didn't give it a shot. So, in working with people all these years, all I know is that the worst pain is what if? What if? Let's say you pass on this one, Mary Jane. Let's say you do your due diligence and you really there's not enough there for you to go through the social discontent of all these people around you or whatever. There's not enough for you to believe it's going to happen. Then, you made a decision based on all the factors, but please don't base it on some fear that's been handed down to you in society, okay? Because we do our best day by day with the partner we have and try to figure out if this is a workable liaison and somebody we can be with, okay? Let's see, Mido Sweden. Me. You got a new name here. Hi. Hi, sending you hearts and loves, Mary Jane. I wonder that too. I'm 10 years older than my guy. He's 58. There are never any guarantees. Zen Maiden, I know you for a long time, and that's true. There are never guarantees. There are safeguards. If you have more in common that connects you in true resonance, heart to heart, soul to soul, you can withstand the vicissitudes of these outer dynamic differences. But would you rather walk away and not know? I, I think if I really loved that person and I saw a lot that's wonderful, I'd rather ride it out and see. But that's my disposition. Maybe it's not yours. Okay. So we have a couple more things. You're beautiful, caring. I love this. You're also good to each other. You're right, Susan. Um, It's they love you, your heart, you're not just your appearance. I need to take the ride. Thank you, Susan. I need to hear this today. Nobody gets a guarantee. We can't be foolish, we can't be blind, and we can't just live with, rose-colored glasses. Far too many people get scammed, because they believe somebody loves them and they don't. But uh, if you're resilient, you can afford to dive and land and swim. It's not we cannot be precious crystal that's hardened. We must be resilient in this life. There's going to be a lot coming your way. You got to learn to tuck and roll. I wrote this in Allowing Magnificence. When a catastrophe comes like this, tuck and roll. A breakup shouldn't break you. It should it should be okay, like you dust yourself off and you go, okay, well, what did I do? What did they do? What do I need to change? Take some time. Okay, it shouldn't stop you, right? Okay. Let's see. Jessa, Susan, your followers are all looking for committed relationships and emotionally mature. Do a live for all your single followers where you play matchmaker in real time, please. I've thought of that. I've really thought of that. And if I don't do something, trust me, it's the technology to how to make that work. Because I think this is a really good group, but I would have it be closed. It would have to be closed. It would have to be a subscription thing. It would have to be like a master class where you're all single, and I'd have to review who you are before I let you into the class. Um, Mary Jane, thank you, Susan and Zen Maiden in my heart. I know he's the one I want to spend my life with. It's just hard to ignore the messages given to older women about worth. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I wrote something called A Woman's Worth a long time ago. And these are a little more poetic because when I was starting out, I was a bit of a precious writer. I'm now more off the cuff, but you're going to also see that on the website. And it's also in the dating, like older women, younger men dating guide, A Woman's Worth. And isn't it so sad that, you know, we get all the way there and it's right in front of us. And then we hesitate because they told us somehow that we don't deserve it. I got those messages. I don't deserve to be loved unless I'm perfect. I don't deserve to be loved. Who would want me if my body's not perfect, if my face isn't perfect, if I'm not young, if not I'm not interesting? Well, no, actually, interesting doesn't even count. Success doesn't count. Interesting doesn't count. Beauty and youth. That we are so bloody tethered to that. Like, who made those rules? We didn't. We didn't. How long is it going to take us to wrestle ourselves free? Society can do it. Like, I see big girls, and they're big girls, and they're walking around with a teeny top, and they got all sorts of stuff hanging out, and they are happy and proud. And I'm like, girl, if I were 50 pounds less than that, I wouldn't have the courage to wear that. And you know what? I'm as tethered as many of you in my own way. I need to be honest. It's not an easy psychological shift. But when love comes knocking at your door, you may be surprised what you're incentivized to do. When that bait is so delicious and the pull is so powerful, it can make you override all of your fears and go running through what you thought was broken glass just to get a bite of this thing that you think is so incredible you have to have it. So that's why I thank goodness for that connection. And at the center of all of this has to be an undeniable connection between you and this person when there are external differences, because you will go through social judgment. And I need to get onto this, okay? Social judgment. If you do not have the disposition to go through society, your friends, some social group judging you as being less because you have, oh God, I had a girlfriend. So Regis was an auto mechanic. You think I gave a shit? I don't care. He was working at Sears. That doesn't define me. I was going into New York City in my little BMW in a briefcase, going to all these executive meetings, coming back. I didn't care. His job didn't define who I was. I couldn't have cared less. But I had the power to be able to feel that way about myself. Somehow, that category I had. I didn't need him to tell me that I was somebody, because I was somebody already in my success. I felt like I was somebody. So it helped me to accept the fact that I don't need him to be somebody because I'm not in reference to him. Whereas centuries ago, a woman's status in life, her whole lifestyle, and for some women that don't want to work today, your whole life is determined by the quality of man that you get and the resources he has. This is so far away from love. Maybe you love them. That's kind of cool, but it's not part of the equation. But if you're looking for love, you are looking for resonance, connection, fidelity, honesty, trustworthiness, and looking for a real partner. And money goes up and down. Success can go up and down. Looks go up and down. Okay, so we have to get real here and go for the inner things. And so let me talk about societal pressure. Um, if any of you think I'm confident, you think I'm confident, or I appear to be confident, it was forged in tears. Forged in tears. I had a community rip me apart day in and day out, rip me apart. And it was so extreme that when I talk about it, I don't imagine anybody would believe me. I have friends that can witness what happened, but I couldn't get in New Jersey. You can't pump your own gas. They have to pump gas for you. I couldn't get somebody to pump gas in my town because I was a witch. I liked being respected. I came from television in New York City, Financial News Network, CNBC, right? I wasn't accustomed to being dismissed or or my success taken away from me. And I can tell you that if you're not strong enough to handle this, if you continue to stay in the relationship because you love your partner and everybody turns against you and everybody judges you, it will either completely break you or it will make you an entirely different person made of steel. Because There's nothing like walking into the mouth of the lion, and then the journalists for the first 3 years, attacking every part of me. So I didn't wanna give up my younger man just for their approval, but I paid the price, but I never had that level of brazen self-confidence to make a choice and stick with it until that moment. So the greatest trial by fire produced, I know I didn't play it by the rules. I didn't, because I didn't wanna know the end of the story. If you've read Allowing Magnificence, my life was supposed to go like this. I'm like, I've already read the end. I don't want to read the end. So let me get back to all of you. But if you think you don't have the disposition to go through discrimination, through negative comments, and this is so foreign to you, this is not a relationship for you unless you want to really become a new person. It's a pretty good way to get strong, okay? It's a pretty good way to get strong. Susan, I have a problem with my new girlfriend. She is 54 while I'm 46. She showed interest at first when I wasn't noticing her, but the moment I showed interest, she began to push and pull games. Call her out on it specifically. If you're with an adult woman and she's cool, she should have the emotional maturity to have an adult conversation where you say, look, I like you, but honestly, I have noticed that you are, let's see, I've landed. Oh, Gwyneth is here. Gwyneth joined us. Gwyneth, hi, Gwyneth. We love you. We love you. Okay, let me go back to this. I want to go back to this right now. Let's see. Okay, I'm talking to Carlson now. So no matter what age they are, if you know that they're playing games, you need to be very honest. And here are the terms of engagement. I like you. I would like to continue to be with you, or if it's new, I would like to explore this relationship. But I've noticed that when I show you interest, you pull away. That does not excite me. That de-incentivizes me. All right? That makes me not attracted to you. I'm looking for a relationship with somebody that has the emotional maturity to stay connected. So this disconnect that's used as a tool for games, whether it could be unconscious on your part, I don't know what it is, but if you're not sure and you're not interested, then we must part. This is the final push. I'm willing to continue to see you or to explore this, but these are the conditions of my involvement. Get tough, get clear. Make this woman wake up. If she was advised by a lady, we don't know. Her friends could be feeding her some kind of information like, oh, he's a younger guy. You got to make yourself hard to get. She needs to have a mind of her own. Oh, you can't have group thought mind and go into a relationship that is controversial. No way. You got to think independently and make your own rules because you're doing things outside the norm. Okay. Me and my best friend broke up. It's my fault. I feel terrible. I want to tell her how sorry I am. I felt like it's just an endless excuses. Any advice, please? She's been with me through. If you say sorry for whatever you did, and if you make endless excuses for the same thing, then I need you to really ask yourself, what is this thing that is so offensive to her that I'm doing? And am I willing and able to stop it? But firstly, is it valid? Is it her? Ouchie, ouchie, can't get near her because that's her issue. Is it my issue? If it's my issue, then I'm going to deal with it. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Merry Christmas, Galactic Woman. It is not much a taboo anymore. I no longer draw attention when I'm with a much younger man. The date, it's much more common. Yep. Okay. Good enough. I have a similar issue with someone who is very interested in me. But when I felt too open my heart, she just started to be cold and tell me she was not looking for something serious now, but in the future. Okay, exit immediately. That's code for I don't want you enough to entertain something seriously with you. I might want to revisit you at a later date. We don't play with people like this. Okay. Jeannie, I'm 57. All of the men chasing me around 35. I'm so surprised. Well, you're welcome. I did the legwork for you. I took the hits. No, no, no. I'm not saying they're right for you, but maybe you'll like them. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me go back into some of these. I want to make sure I haven't missed any super chat. Okay, we did Richard. We did Mel. I think I've done everybody. Ms. Margaret. I did Golden Hawk. I think I've done everybody. Does anybody else have any questions about older women, younger men? Is there anything I haven't commented on? Society will give you pressure, some aspects of society. If you're very much a town and country lifestyle gal that grew up in Greenwich, Connecticut with your financial service guy that's in private equity, and now you're dating the tennis pro, you may have to work a little bit harder to prove that it's legit, not only to yourself, but to your outer circle. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say to you. Are you ready for the fight? Are they worth it? They've got to be with you 100%. Do not be the only one fighting for this. Your partner has to be in it with you and back you up in public, in private. They've got to be by your side. Okay. Again, it's the internal resonance, societal pressure. Oh, emotional maturity. Let us not confuse emotional maturity with age. They're not synonymous. We think they are. We hope they are. As I said earlier, you can have a woman in her 50s with the mindset of a 13-year-old playing games. Does anybody have any questions before I go off the air today? Anything? Let's see. Anything here? Gwyneth is back. Gwyneth is back. Gwyneth is back. Love you, Susan. You give me so much hope every single day. D33, and thank you so much. I think that's Deanne. Followers are looking for committed relationships. Okay, so I have some surprising news for you. I'm also in a multicultural relationship with a younger, emotionally mature man that brings its own challenges. The fight is worth it. I like that. I like to look at these different dynamics. When you come from different age groups and you add a different cultural background, each one comes pre-programmed with what they think they should be doing. So I look at this as a new template for which we can discover greater parts of ourselves beyond our social programming. New information. I'm dropping unseen content into the Susan Winter Show, which is a podcast. So this afternoon, I'm reading some of your questions because I know you've been sending them to susanwinter.net to the contact page where it says Q&A. And I'm answering a series of them that will not be here. They'll be directly on the podcast. I'll also be posting more videos. I've hired a company to give you some shorts because from now on, if I pay for something, they're going to do all the work. I'm so tired. I don't have more time to admin. I'm also booking people that I'm interviewing as guests. Sometimes there are people asking me to put them on the Susan Winter Show on the podcast, or they're asking to be on YouTube. And I love certain people. I know their work, so that's a breeze. I'm interviewing and learning about other people that I've signed up. So in January, February of this year, you will be seeing me interviewing other people that have a different conversation. Okay. I will be starting with a handful of people that I personally, some I don't know, to be honest, but the ones that I like are not always in the relationship space, but they have something really valid to offer. And I know them as a person that follows my work. Okay. I have a celebrity. I have the stylist who's a client. I have some people that I like who are really skilled at aspects that are brilliant for dating and relationships, and they're not necessarily in this realm. So you're going to be getting more content here on YouTube. Now, I will be here with you all next week. It's Boxing Day next Thursday, and I know, Gwyneth, that's a holiday for all of you Brits. But I will be here anyway. And I wish all of you a very Merry Christmas if you celebrate that, a Happy Hanukkah if you don't celebrate that. Whatever you celebrate, how about celebrating you for this next week? I have a challenge for those of you who are in age gap relationships. One, really determine what could be possible with this partner that would be agreeable to you. Two, Really talk and communicate about what you love that's working, and start to negotiate the more extreme aspects that are not. Okay? Look for resonance, look for deeper connection. It's always beautiful when a younger guy chooses an older woman. For you gals that are worried about this, you're like, oh my God, is he going to want me when I'm older? Um, Guess what? He knows you're older. I call it an upfront buy where you know exactly what you're getting. So there are people that want something special and they're looking for a quality beyond this, beyond this. What they need, deeply need, younger men who love older women are looking for real clarity, confidence, emotional capacity, self mastery, self awareness. They're looking to step into a relationship with a woman who makes it easy to be with them because she knows who she is, she knows what she wants, she's not afraid to tell you. And those of you older women, I urge you with your younger partner, please, on a daily basis, let him know why you love him. Tell him specifically the qualities that you find so outstanding. He may be getting flack from people that he's not sharing with you. Always remind him why he's in this relationship, that you respect him, that you admire him, that you see what he brings to your life. Give him a reason to continue to love you. Do you understand? Young guys, do the same thing for your older partner. Younger men, younger women, I don't care what the composition is here. Everybody's included. Daily, let them know why you love them. Okay? And you'll keep your relationship growing and beautiful and happy. Everyone, thank you for your generosity today. I will see you next week. Love to all of you. Gwyneth, mwah, to be, I love, love, love all of you. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you next week. Bye bye.